Hello, everyone. It's Mr. Kissinger at the Citizenship Academy in Syracuse, New York, and this is 5th grade math module 6, lesson 7. We're going to plot points and use them to draw lines in the plane and describe patterns within the coordinate pairs. So we're going to be looking for patterns here. If we look at number 1, it says complete the chart, then plot the points on the coordinate plane. So I'm going to label my axes first here, my x-axis and my y-axis. And then I'm going to make these x values and y values into coordinate pairs. So I have 2, 0, 3.5, 1.5, and then I have 4.5, 2.5, and then 6 and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. 2, 0, 3.5, and 1.5, 4.5, and 2.5. And I have 6 and 4. And it says, use a straight edge to draw a line connecting these points. So I'm going to use my ruler here. Line up all my points. This time I'm not going to have a vertical or a horizontal line. I'm going to have a diagonal line that will intersect all of these points. And it says, write a rule showing the relationship between the x and y coordinates of points on this line. So I'm just going to look at my points here, my coordinates, my coordinate pairs, and see what the relationship is between my x coordinate and my y coordinate. So I'm gonna look first at my whole numbers, because that might be easier to see a pattern in the whole numbers than in the fractions or the mixed numbers. We have 2 and 0, and we have 6 and 4. Well, both of those, my rule would be from 2 to 0, subtract 2. From 6 to 4, I subtract 2. And then let's look at our mixed numbers here. 3.5 to 1.5, our rule would work, subtract 2. 4.5 to 2.5, well, I'd also subtract 2 there. So our rule would be our y value is our x value minus 2. So if we wanted to find two other points that are on the line, as it says in letter C here, we could pick any x value that we want and subtract 2 to get our y value. So let's use the number 10 here for our x value. Well, then our y value would be 8. Let's say that we chose 3 for our x value. Well, then our y value would be 2 less, so it would be 1. We could check that by looking here. We see 3, and we go up to 1. And look, this is going to be a point right on our line right there, 3, 1. And if we could go all the way over to 10, we would see 10 would be up here at 8. And that would be another point on our line. So any number or a set of coordinates where our x value minus 2 equals our y value would be on that line. All right, let's look at number 2 here. It says complete the chart, then plot the points on the coordinate plane. So we're going to do the same thing here. Let's fill in our coordinate pairs first. You have 0, 0. We have 1/4, 3/4, 1/2, 1.5, and 1, 3. Now, if I look at just my whole numbers here and I go, all right, 1, 3, so maybe my rule is add 2. But if I look at my 0, 0, well, that doesn't make sense because if I had 0 and I added 2, I would get 2. So maybe my rule is not going to be addition. Let's draw our line first to see what it looks like here. So 0. 1/4. So each one of these are 4. So 1/4, 3/4, 1/2, 1/2. 1, 3. Give a little bit of a steeper diagonal on this time. And I'm thinking that maybe our rule might be multiplication here. So let's look again at our 1, 3. 1 times 3 would give us 3. 0 times 3 would give us 0. Well, let's look at our fractions. 1/4 times 3, well, that would give us 3/4. And 1/2 times 3, well, that would give us 1 1/2. So our rule for this this chart here, this set of points, everything on this line, y equals x times 2. And just for the sake of not using an x for multiplication, I'm going to do y equals 2x. Like 2 times x if you want to. You can put a little dot there for times, or we can do like maybe another little x in there if we wanted to, but we don't really need anything between those. If you have 2x, 2 right next to a variable right there, that's kind of the same thing as, again, we could also do a parentheses 2x. All of those would be proper notation for showing that we want to multiply 2 times whatever the variable x is. So if we want to name 2 other points that are on this line, we could use anything for an x value. So let's use 2 as an x value. So 2, and then 3, and then 3 times 2 would be our y value, which would be 6. So 2, 6. And if we went to 2 here all the way up to 6, that would give us a point that would be on that line. And then we also could do 3. 3 times 3 would be 9. So there's 2 other points that would be on that line. Way off of our grid paper here, but they would be somewhere on that line if you extended that line further. All right, let's take a look at the next page. It says, use the coordinate plane to answer the following questions. For any point on line M, the x-coordinate is blank. Line M, well, it looks like our x-coordinate is 10 for this whole line because it runs perpendicular to that x-axis. So that would be 10. It says, give the coordinates for 3 points that are on line N. So let's look at this line N right here. So let's pick a couple of points here. So it wants us to pick 3. Well, right here we have 0, 6. And then up here we have 6, 12. And then we have 12, 18. And it looks like for each of these, and it says, write a rule that describes the relationship between x and y coordinates on line N. Well, 0 plus 6 is 6, 6 plus 12 is 6, 12 plus 18 is 6. So it looks like y is going to equal x plus 6. Now it's asking us to give coordinates for 3 points that are on line Q. So, line Q, I have 4, 2. I have 8, 4. And I have 16. Well, 4, 2, we're going to, our y value decreases by 2 from x. 8, 4, well, it decreases by 4. 16, 8 decreases by 8. So I don't think it's going to be a addition or subtraction. But 4 divided by 2 would give me 2. 8 divided by 2 would give me 4. And 16 divided by 2 would give me 8. So I think my relationship between those x and y coordinates, we have y equals x over 2, or x divided by 2. Another way we could write that is y equals 1/2 x. We can do 1/2 times x, or x divided by 2. Either way, we get the same set of numbers. When I multiply something by 1/2, it's the same as dividing it by 2. Now identify a line on which each of these points lie. So it says 10, 3.2. Okay, so it's going to ask us for which one of these. So anything that starts with 10 looks like that's going to be line M. 12.4, 18.4. Well, at 12.4 and 18.4, it looks like my y value is 6 more than my x value. Y equals x plus 6 was line N. (6.45, 12). Well, this line right here, line L, looks like L is going to be every y value will be 12 on that line. So I'm going to call that line L. Then 14.7, well, 7 is half of 14. It looks like that's going to be line Q, because our y value is 1/2 of our x value. All right, so that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.